To this day, people come up to me and say, "How did you do that helicopter crash? It looks so real." And the easy answer and the true answer was, it is real.
The accident occurred in a tomato field in Oceanside. Foursquare Productions of National City was shooting some final scenes for a comedy feature film, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, when a helicopter leased for the occasion suddenly crashed as it was landing.
As I flared to land on this spot on the knoll right here, why the tail rotor struck the ground.
The craft carried the pilot and two of the lead actors, including Jack Riley, who plays Mr. Carlin on the Bob Newhart Show.
We went up about 3,000 feet, it seemed to me, and I was in the seat, no door on the thing, and there's like a little seat belt that's like from a Pinto, it's like real weak.
What happened was the helicopter was supposed to come in and land next to the car, and the pilot did it just fine in rehearsal.
Coming down, he was supposed to time his descent to land next to a police car that was coming in.
He saw he was a little bit late for his cue. He sped up. He came in at an angle.
He hit a little hill in back of us, and the rear rotor came off.
When you lose the tail rotor, the directional control is lost, and immediately have to put it on the ground to keep from spinning.
And we started spinning around like a centrifuge.
We went through more than one turn before we got it on the ground.
And it just crashed to the ground from about 10 feet. Then there was, "Get him out of there, get him out of there," after we hit the ground, because they thought the tanks were going to explode.
And the first thing I saw was that the helicopter was still on fire. And I thought to myself, man, this would be a really cool scene if we could get these guys to crawl away from the helicopter and actually work this into the movie. But I thought that would be really gauche.
Here we are, and nobody's knocked out, nobody's really badly hurt. And we think, how can we save the situation? And we went to John, actually, and said, hey, we could be crawling away from this, and you can use it in the film.
Fortunately, Jack Riley turned to me, and he said, hey, you know what? I've got a great idea. And he said, what if we left the helicopter as it's burning and wrote some dialogue later? And I said, Jack, that's a great idea.
Incredible! Kamikaze tomato. Tomatoes can't fly. Yeah, they can't eat people either, but they're doing one heck of an impression.
Jim, go over there and talk to that sheriff and find out what the hell's going on.
When that helicopter went down, the first thing I thought was, they're dead.
The ground came at me and it went away, and at me and away, and I thought, this is it,
And I know it's a horrible thing to say, but the first thought on my mind was, how am I going to tell his agent, even as I was running out to the helicopter? Because it's awfully embarrassing to call an agent the first day he worked with his actor and say, remember that guy you sent us? Well, he died in a helicopter crash. And the reason the helicopter crash was in the movie was because the second unit cameraman, who was also the producer, Steve Peace, had the presence of mind to keep his camera running, even though the first unit photographer had turned it off as soon as it crashed. So because Steve had managed to keep that finger on the button, the crash lives on, and the movie got a little piece of notoriety.
Were you in the helicopter?
I was in the helicopter, yes, and I was pulled out.
And they caught the rotor on the ground?
Yeah, the rear rotor was caught on the ground.
It's a great scene.
Yeah, it's a great scene. It's one of the big scenes in the film.
In fact, the helicopter cost more than the rest of the movie combined.
The helicopter scene was the first for Riley in the picture, and almost his last. He and Wilson were scheduled to resume shooting this afternoon. One of the upcoming scenes, a high-speed car crash.